The Byzantine Empire originated as the capital of Rome in 330 AD, and at the time it was called Constantinople, which later became the capital of the Byzantine Empire. Then, around 65 years later in 395 AD, the Roman Empire divides into the Eastern and Western Roman Empires. This left the eastern half based in Constantinople and the western half based in Rome. Later on in 476 AD, the Western Empire of Rome falls and the Eastern Empire survives. The Eastern Empire gets labeled the Byzantine Empire. In 1204 AD, the Byzantine Empire gets hit by a blow that it never fully recovered to. And that is losing its capital city, Constantinople, to the Fourth Crusade. After regaining Constantinople around 6 years later, the Byzantine Empire then falls to the Ottomans in 1453 AD. Art of the Byzantine Empire was heavily influenced by the Edict of Milan, which was a law allowing Christian worship through the display of Christian art. All of the Byzantine Empire was soon showered by paintings, mosaics, and extravagant churches. Another large contribution to Byzantine art was when Justinian I created a mass building project of extremely large, well-decorated churches across the entire empire, such as the Basilica of San Vital. Another component of Byzantine art was mosaics, which is an art piece arranged together by small materials such as glass or stone. Some of the great mosaics were put together as the Galati and the Kiev, although Byzantine art soon came to an abrupt fall around 1200 AD, when the capital of the Byzantine Empire, Constantinople, was taken over by invading enemies. Constantinople was home to some of the empire's most elegant pieces of art.
As we take a look at the economic aspect of the Byzantine Empire, we can see that they dominated political and military affairs due to their extremely progressive economy. The Byzantine Empire's economy was largely supported by their abundance of agriculture, large number of craft workers, and their trade throughout the Mediterranean. The Byzantine Empire's agriculture surplus supported large cities throughout the empire, such as Constantinople, Thessaloniki, Antioch, Trebizond, and more. The main sources of commerce in all of these places were the peasants. The peasants, who owned small areas of lands, were the backbone of the economy for the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire's peasants were not always completely free, although they were not slaves. The Byzantine Empire developed a system that gave land to anybody who gave military service to the empire. This system was named the theme system and helped strengthen the wealth of the peasants and the economy by having more land cultivated by the peasants, leading to a boost in agricultural development. Not only that, throughout the 8th to 10th century, the Byzantine authorities created laws against how much land the wealthy were allowed to own, which spread wealth to peasants and other less wealthy classes. Although the theme system and the law limiting how much land you could own created economic difficulties for the Byzantine Empire towards the last 3 centuries of the empire's existence, this is due to the wealthy using their influence to obtain concessions and exemptions, and the free peasantry laws diminished the amount of enlistments into the military.
If you were to take a look at where the Byzantine Empire is located on a map, you would see that it is made up of parts of North Africa, Greece, Italy, and even some territory in the Middle East. This specific location made it very convenient for trade, as it was located on the Bosphorus River in the Black Sea, the crossroads between Europe, Africa, and Asia. More importantly, the empire had numerous trade routes, including the Silk Road, which ran through Constantinople, the border between the Christian and Muslim faith. In conclusion, the empire had an ideal location and was tactically safe because they only had to defend one side of land since it was located on a peninsula. The waters surrounding the empire served as defense from the soldiers on foot. However, they still had to keep watch in case armies attacked through ship.
For starters, the Byzantine Empire's society and economy was strongest when the empire supported a large class of free peasants who owned small plots of land. Besides serving as the backbone of the Byzantine military system, free peasants cultivated their land intensively in hopes of improving their families' fortunes. As in other societies, however, wealthy individuals and families sought to accumulate land, the principal source of wealth in Byzantium, as well as many neighboring countries. In the early centuries of the Byzantine Empire, wealthy cultivators ran large estates and supervised the peasantry as a dependent class. Even though they were the dependent class, peasants did not become slaves, but neither did they remain entirely free. It wasn't until the invasions of the 6th and 7th centuries when the theme system strengthened the free peasantry, by making land available to those who performed military service. Overall, the Byzantine social structure was constructed of three social classes. The first of the three, or the upper class, was comprised of very hierarchical, was governed by the ecclesiastical rulers, and was composed of different levels of leadership. Then came the middle class, which was composed of merchants, traders, and owners of medium-sized property. And finally came the lower class, the peasants.
Byzantine Christianity developed in tension, particularly with the Christian faith of Western Europe. In the centuries following Constantine's legalization of Christianity, church leaders in Jerusalem, Alexandria, Antioch, Constantinople, and Rome exercised great influence in the larger Christian community. One of the specific issues that divided Constantinople and Rome was the iconoclastic movement of the 8th and 9th centuries. Iconoclasm is the destruction of religious icons and other images or monuments for religious or political motives. Western theologians regarded religious images as perfectly appropriate aids and images of devotion and resented Byzantine claims to the contrary, whereas the iconoclasts took offense at the efforts of their Roman counterparts to have images restored in Byzantium. Other specific disagreements between the Christian churches based in Constantinople and Rome included some ritual and doctrinal differences concerning forms of worships and their respective rights and powers. Patriarchs argued for the autonomy of all major Christian jurisdictions, including that of Constantinople, whereas popes asserted the primacy of Rome as the sole seat of authority for all Christendom. Relations became so strained that the Eastern and Western churches went separate ways. In 1054 CE, the Patriarch and the Pope excommunicated each other, each refusing to recognize the other's church as properly Christian. The resulting schism between Eastern and Western churches persists to the present day. And now today, historians refer to the Eastern Christian Church after 1054 as Eastern Orthodox Church and its Western counterpart as the Roman Catholic Church.
When you study and read over the history of the Byzantine Empire, you may start to realize how the throne was often occupied by utterly incompetent rulers. Political assassination was common in Byzantium, sometimes resulting in destructive, if brief, civil wars between competitors for the throne. Despite having numerous amounts of ineffective and incompetent rulers, the government was so efficiently organized to the point that they could function effectively even when the throne was occupied by men and women of neither ability or character to rule. The taxes were always collected, the bureaucracy and the armies were paid, and the empire never went bankrupt. Most importantly, the Byzantine Empire was very hierarchical, governed by ecclesiastical rulers, and was composed of different levels of leadership. The emperor was in charge of everything political, but played an important role in the church in the decisions it made as well. At the center of the empire was the emperor himself, who was held to be ordained by God as the head of the church as well as state. Last but not least, the emperor appointed church bishops and passed religious and secular laws. Overall, the Byzantine Empire had such a high level of significance and importance as seen through their numerous advancements and developments such as their innovative architecture styles and techniques or their dominant law codes. Just through these few examples, one can see how the Byzantine Empire had not only a significant impact on the Silk Road, but the entire world as well.